Good evening, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Where is Rob Today? October 18th, here at the house in my slash studio slash office, and I'm trying to figure out how to set this thing so my face isn't so blue and not having much luck on that. I'll figure that out here sooner or later. Anyway, been to the doctor here lately and looking good. Got the all clear on both my eyes. Got 20/20 vision, far close to 2015 on both eyes, far vision. Ain't that pretty great? Anyway, what else we need to talk about? Well, the elections. Ugh. What can I say? I hate watching the news now. I'd rather watch Bugs Bunny than and Yosemite Sam than watching the news. I'll tell you, it is a freaking mess. But I will say this: no matter who gets elected, it's going to be a mess. I guarantee you that. That's the wisdom from Rob. And if you believe it, well, that's good. If you don't, well, that's good too. It's a free country. So I guess I told you I was retired Southwest Airlines captain in the previous video that I did, and if you want to know very specific information about how to get hired, what's it like to fly, I'll go over all that stuff in my vlogs here as we go by day. And I'd like to talk about today, how did I get interested in flying in the first thing? Well, getting interested in flying started at a very early age for me. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. And back behind the store that my mom and dad had on North 5th Street in Stroudsburg, a gentleman lived there, and he had a small Cessna, whatever it is, 150, I believe. And he took me up for a ride when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I was hooked. I had no idea how in the wide world of sports that I would ever come up to be a pilot, but that's what I chose. I wanted to do. So my mother encouraged that, and for Christmas that year or the next, she gave me about 10 or 15 model airplane kits to put together with airplane glue, which back in the day seemed rather innocuous and rather plain, and you don't have to worry about that stuff. But anyway, I guess I made it through my childhood in spite of having airplane glue available to me, not knowing that I could inhale it and get higher than a kite. And but I used it anyway. It smelled pretty good. But what I would do is I would fly around the house with my model airplane. This is my cell phone. Anyway, flying around. And my mother gave me books about flying, about World War II stuff, which was only over just about 10, 15 years prior to when I got interested in flying. So World War II is pretty fresh in a lot of people's memory back in the day. And so after I graduated from high school in '65, I went out and I said, I'll just go to East Stroudsburg State College at the time and mess around in that, get a college degree over there in mathematics. Well, little did I know that it's pretty tough to get a college degree in mathematics, and I was not mature enough for college at the time, to sit down and study and do the things that are positively necessary to make it possibly through college. So I dropped out. Got a couple of jobs here, there, and yonder, and guess what? I got a letter in the mail that says you are required to report for a pre-induction physical up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Well, that's step one of getting drafted by the United States Army. And I go, okay. So I go up to Wilkes-Barre in January of 1967 and get myself a pre-induction physical, which was probably the most humiliating thing I've ever done in my entire life to this day. I hope you like the music I have in the background. That's smooth jazz off of Pandora. So kudos to them. they always have a great music list. And if you can't hear it, well, I'll turn it up next time. And well, let me just turn it up a little bit right now. How's that? Stand by. Because I really like this song that's playing right here. It's called Rainforest by Paul Hardcastle. And anyway, so got my physical done, messed around with a couple more jobs, and I said, well, you know, if I'm going to get drafted, I might as well do what I want to do if I go into the military. So at the time, it was the Stroudsburg post office where all the recruiters were. And I went to one to the other, and they said, college degree? Nope. College degree? Nope. College degree? Nope. That was Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps, and also the Coast Guard. You needed to have a college degree to fly in the military, which I did not have. And my last choice was the United States Army. And they said, are you a high school graduate? And I said, yes. He said, sit down and let's talk. Well, the next thing you know, I filled out the paperwork, took the test, which is called the FAST test, F-A-S-T, Flight Aptitude Screening Test, to see if I had what was required to become a pilot in the United States Army flying helicopters. Excuse me. So, passed the test with flying colors. Get it? Flying colors. And from there, I went to the board and had an interview with the board, and it was a screening board to see if I'm not nuts and anything like that, just a regular guy. Did okay on that. The next thing you know, I'm going through basic training down at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to learn how to fly. Well, it's getting kind of late, and I'm kind of tired. And if you have any questions about flying in any way, shape, or form, I think I can handle it, and I do a pretty good job answering your question, whatever it may be. I've got well north of 30,000 hours of flying time. If you know anything about flying, that's a bunch. So I've been flying since 1968. So for now, Rob's out.